5-MeO, and like, tell me about it. And they go, the God Molicule and all this stuff. Like, what are the side effects? No side effects. Nothing has no side effects. Don't give me this bullshit, right? And so finally I was there. I spent the day reading everything I could about it. And I finally said, you know what? The ayahuasca was a great experience, but I still didn't feel like it transformed my death experience for me. And so I did it. And so they told me in advance, they go, you're so big, you know, you're 6'7", 280. We need like 4 or 5 guys to hold you down. We're going to tie you down. You're going to tie me down? Because we don't want you scratching your eyes. You could get crazy in this. And I said, how long does this last? They go, 10, 12 minutes. So they give me this stuff and nothing happens. And they gave me a ton because I'm big, right? They gave me a ton. It's like, they told me that should be enough to take out an elephant. I'm like, well, fuck, I don't feel anything. This is bullshit, right?
Nothing happened?
Nothing. So the next day, they said, we're going to try it again. And I guess they really loaded me up. And as I went out, I couldn't breathe. And I was screaming, I can't breathe. I felt like I was dying, and I kept rolling, and they couldn't control me. I was running all over the place. They tied me down. I ripped out of the tied areas. It was crazy. And this 10 minutes was 2 fucking hours.
Fuck.
Because the amount they gave me.
What the fuck?
But the first hour was hell. And if you'd seen me, you'd think it was insane. And, you know, I guess my eyes were open, but I couldn't see anybody or see anything. And then the last hour was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life, which is what Tony Bossis had kind of alluded to before. It's like I felt the direct connection to all that is. I felt the direct connection to spirit, to soul, to my own soul. I had this conversation with myself that I'll never forget, from my higher self to me. I felt the presence of God. My wife was with me, and I looked at her. I felt like if I died, she was the greatest gift that ever happened to me. I already felt that, but it was even deeper. I felt so much gratitude. I mean, I came out of the experience with a transformation like you did. The only difference is for the next 10 days, because I guess the amount they gave me, I woke up every morning and had this euphoric experience. But euphoric, I was like making sounds, like yelling sounds to get the vibration out of my body. And it would go on for like 30 minutes of like ecstatic feelings, but so ecstatic. You know, if you smile so much, your face hurts. It was like, this shit needs to stop. And then like I'd done this down there, and I'd come up from Brazil, and normally like every 3 or 4 days I'm at a seminar. So I had this 1 10-day period, and the 10 days were up, and I had to get on stage in Vegas in a crowd of 12,000 people. And I'm having this experience right in the morning before it starts. I'm like, holy shit. And my brain just overrode it. And I got on stage and I delivered, and I never had that experience again. But literally I had 10 days in a row of this euphoric experience, and my whole nervous system getting rewired. And so I have no fear of death. Now, I'm gonna say fear of death. I don't want to die, but I have no fear of death. And more importantly, now I can really help people in that environment. It's transformed me in that area, because you can't get someone to feel what you don't feel. You can't touch other people if you've not been touched. You can't move other people if you've not been moved. And so I had a direct experience, because I read all about this shit, but then, I didn't want to be a part of it because, my background, everybody around me was abusing drugs and alcohol, and they were abusive. So I never wanted to touch this shit. But in this case, it's like I always tell people, a belief is a poor substitute for an experience. You can believe all you want what something is. And one other person, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, I want to acknowledge him. I love him. He's a beautiful man, from CNN, medical doctor and neurosurgeon. And he was about as straight-laced about this shit as I am, and like on marijuana even. He thought it was horrible. And, he started doing the studies and research. And he started telling me about the research about like kids that, as you're having, brain aneurysms and things of that nature, or brain seizures rather, and what an unbelievable gift it was. And now, as I'm sure you've seen, he's a supporter of it and so forth. So the world's changing, and I think we reacted to the abuse of things. But what I liked about these experiences is I could do it one time and have my life be altered. I don't have to do it. It's not something I got to go do daily to bring myself back to that state. I have access to those states within me because I locked them in, and they're valuable, and they give me great gifts. So the toad has blessed us both, my friend.
Oh, big time, big time.